Tene ta tangbo ngadu deli chujurela. Tene ta tela chitang tandang arang tari tanda Dzogchen tangurte hyoge kapla tene kasing huma hyuba yendo tanda chitang America lumbala tambe chutarne yen rimbo mandoa ta loiki jo nga jo tu jo de zamma to mandoa la tene tak sasha yendo penna peta jaganda buji na lo tong ta la chutarne yepare de yinaya de chula ichi yanking da chula ichi menking tinte mambu yore la tene tanda chen namba chu sarva tarne susu yung kalba zangbo yinpe cherna chula ichi chebar chinche dinani tanda mixal ga tanda nyamlin chepe kapsala ya depa tang ichi tang mugu tang tene je tesamdabu hira mepa tene trawa tenzo naungduba trawa yapo chuyo tang tempe ke trawa tende naungala pe tuji che pe gabu chungla nying takwa ne tuji che hyuji yenla tene di jesu dojin chungtungla sonde ten.
First of all, I'd like to wish everyone good morning. And so now at this time when we're discussing the song of the Dzogchen View, it's as I said the other day, it hasn't been a very long time since the Dharma has spread to America. It's been 40, 50, or maybe 60 years at most. It's not like other places like Tibet or India where it's been thousands of years since the Dharma spread. But, whatever it is, there are a lot of people who have faith in the Dharma, some people who don't have faith in the Dharma. But now you all are here in a place when the Dharma has newly spread here, and this is really fortunate. You've also had the really great fortune to develop confidence and belief in the Dharma. And in particular, you are doing your practice with great faith, with confidence, with devotion. You don't have doubts. When you have questions, you've been asking good questions that are really compatible with the Dharma. And so I'd really like to thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart. So next we will recite the Vajra Lineage prayer.
다 드링크 값소 다 탄다 지탕가 땅구르게 죽도야래라 땅구르게 죽도야가 값소 다 탄다 제 툭토게 남주르테네 다티 툭 가와다 토아 지나와래라 드니티 존신데 간디리세나 자시 히와라가 상나 대따라 로동 덴바이 랍동 손주 센선 닌주 좀 제브라자베 sen da tar zain te to se ta chitang ta leka ngaran so ge te se mau pan da bo ji se yo na tini te la te chung du tong ge che to la je pan da bo ji ta ti ya bo chong mun du nye mo ba chim bo ta jawa ngen ban da bo tin de se yo na ti ya bo chong mun du som nin je pan da bo ji na tini ti ge ta tan da nang tong ngen ban da bo te yen do yong ni yong do mi yong wala pen ge yo 다 야보제 샤와 야보제 두요요나 테 고니 공도 벨구기요 와래 고니 공도 벨베게 탑라 가린난 구기요 와래세나 드닝 줄라 가와다 쪼아침 붙지나 드니 디기 제수 예롱하시네 다팅닐 샤와티 야보 총송 아 드니 다티알테네 아 야보 총알테네 스톨라 가와다 쪼아지나 드니 마음발라야 테요니 용든 종네 드니 쳔펠다 쳔지란 로기요 와래라 드니 감들 다단다 지당게 조바침비게 따위게 코르티 이나 템베캅 이나인다 랑기 냠슬렘베캅 이나인다 냠슬렌지 중화테요 페메시베 칼바상보 임바티 히나 드니 텔라테네 마홈발라 테치테체 깝칼라 Tanya lelo ta chengin da te da ya tele galne tene compel to tanto pache tene yin la tena ya yin la uni painto re sombe gawa ta to to ichi ya panda bota tende yungi yo re la tene teacher na tanda ta lo dewa chi pi cholte re la lo dewa chi pi cholte la tene ta chitang nomba ye penane tene ta ringa kapsala topa rang ngola somte lo dewa ta ngarang topa yapo ji jila jesung ta dangwa ti yapo chungsung dangwa ti yena tena yo topa ti yapo jetu gre topa ti jena yena pento gre sompe ke tene lo dewa njunga ke cholte temba insare.
So today we're talking about the concluding portions of the song of the Dzogchen View. And so in the conclusion of this song, it talks about, it's a real expression of joy and delight. And this, so it's talking about how joyful and delightful it is to do this. And so this is, as the great Bodhisattva Shantideva said in The Way of the Bodhisattva, he said that though the intelligent ones, when they have developed bodhicitta, in order to embrace it and develop, they should sing its lofty praises. And so here, whenever we're doing something, if we are like doing bad things, if we've done something bad, in the future we need to do something to decrease that, make sure it doesn't happen again. And then, so if we regret it, we think that wasn't any good, I was really under the influence of bad thought patterns and bad afflictions, and then if you regret it, then whether it's bad actions or bad thought patterns, then this will help make sure that they don't keep coming up over and over again. And then when we do good things, when we do things that are helpful, we need to increase and develop those. And so what is the method that we can do for that? Well, it's to engage it and to develop it, if we need to rejoice about it. So we think, oh, that was a really good thing that I did. And then you're really happy and delighted that you have done it. And then, so this in the future makes sure that it will continue to happen over and over again, continue to get stronger and better. And so here, when we're thinking about the subject of the view of Dzogchen, whether we are teaching it to others or whether we are practicing it ourselves, doing the practice of this is so incredibly fortunate. It's a great fortune, and so it's possible that in the future we might encounter such difficulties as laziness or circumstances that don't allow it. In order to make sure that we can cross over those and transcend those obstacles, if we are joyful and delighted about it now, that will be very helpful. And also in terms of helping others, if we're joyful and delighted, we can have the confidence that we can do this. And so that is why Mipham Rinpoche discusses the way in which the mental ease or the happy mind naturally arises. And so this discussion of how the mental ease comes about has 4 different sections. And so today we're going to start with the second of these, the mental ease of considering the essence of realization itself. And this is thinking, wow, I've had realization. These instructions are really good. If I teach this to other people, they'll also be able to develop the realization. It will really help them. And so now he's teaching how this gives us a real feeling of joy and mental ease.
Tendin tatela acherdo tanda tunta mandawa on to see na tene tanda chitang tene Ju Mipham Choephel Mipham tene tanda Chogyam Trungpa Mipham dabo kelenki dabo jina ya tene che na Chogyam Trungpa Mipham tene tanda kel lang na ya tene te repeat drip capsula Chogyam Trungpa Mipham la ten jaja jathambege ichi to ge yor besina yo marilla tenite medu tela Chogyam Trungpa mena Contrigate. Tinitiawangasi Yuna, Tinitiawangasi me somne, Tinitawa de Kurna, Tinimambala, Be Kangal Chimbote Jugiankayore. Tini taken the Trunta Mandawaga on the Siena, Ran Tarbatovia, Ran Corvo Dungal Troya Getsetala, Tini ya Lajik in Jiting Sepo Laje Yapache, Tela Japsol, Tati Tela J. Tete Subdondrabujab, Tatela J. Ngambandabuti, Tini Tig Telang Pelindrabuhi, Tatindi Sinia Tarbatoya Tapsi Gunaya, Tipe Yenke Latin Kupa into Tilpe Kalikabu. Tangarans number Sanji Pag, Tini Tietrabu, Tor Rimbola, Tarba Sinkinte, Korwu Dungal Trolwe Tapti, Tor Rimbola Mepa, Tini Rangi, Drup to Giaba. Jaitan, Ti Yendo, Drup to Patia, Ta Choju Menga on the Sena, Tini Tig, Dreb the Tor Rimboji la Chol Gugi Yore Vicina, Chol Gugi Yomari, Narang Sanji then to Yore. Tenga Taju Majumare. Tini Titaju Majumala Tini, Timanton Arete, Yenaya, Tela Jin Zamboje than Tini, Tau Capsula. Tini Tati Narali Niati, Ni Minig Tesam Dabota, Top Motok Tesam Dabo Maguba, Yembecherna, Solgu Mundu, the Solking Rain, Ta Danda Sanji Nelu, the Kahiti, the Torimbo, Tilroni, Solni, Cavado, Tati Niegre, Jaisena, Niegre, Jaisena, Niegamari Samba Maingba. Tambon Solking Narang. Narang Sanji Nelute in the Cherna, Tagarang Latena, Tongi Orella, Tiniti taught Nievo Hivo Yore, that teacher Gawato Toachi, Jondo.
Now, there are all sorts of different philosophies in the world, and of these different philosophies, there are some that don't really accept that there is cause or there are conditions and results. They don't accept rebirth and past and future lives. And maybe there is something about that, but if you think, if you assert that there is no rebirth, that there are no past and future lives, and you try to prove it with logic, there's no way you can actually prove it for 100% certain. And since there's no great certainty about it, if you assert that there's no rebirth and it turns out that there isn't any rebirth, then okay, that's fine. But if you say, oh, there is no rebirth and no reincarnation, and all of a sudden it turns out that there is, then you are in a very big problem and having great difficulties. So, for that reason, you have to think. So then there are other philosophies, and of these, some of these other philosophies said that, well, we also need to attain liberation and freedom for ourselves. And so they think, well, okay, there's a God or some sort of a deity who created the world, and so we can ask him for protection. And so then when we do that, they worship the deity, give little gifts, make presents, supplicate, pray to the deity, and ask. And if we think about it in Buddhist terms, we think about this, actually, this is kind of difficult because this is relying on someone else to do something for you. So it's a little bit hard. But for us, in our Buddhist philosophy, the liberation from all the suffering of samsara is not something that's far away. It's not something that we not need to look for somewhere else. It's something that we can do ourselves. And so when we do the practices of Mahamudra and Dzogchen, is it that we're looking for this liberation that's far away from ourselves? It's not. It's right there. It's present right within our mind. We just haven't looked at it yet. That's why we haven't seen it. But if we meet the right circumstances and we do look at it, then there's absolutely no doubt that we will find it. There's absolutely no doubt that we will gain it. And so that is why it says here, there's no need to search. It's the searcher itself. When we you might think, oh, I'm going to look for liberation, look for the nature of the mind, and it's something long way off, something that's going to be hard for me to get to. Maybe I'll find it, but maybe I can't do it. You might get discouraged like that. But actually, it's the searcher itself. The one who's searcher is the nature of the mind itself. And if you just turn back and look at the searcher itself, that's all that is necessary. And so that is one reason that can give us great joy and delight.
Tene ta te yendo hembe melodi hemi ronro singing de ta chitang hembata nomto da ta tende che kapsula ne panda bo yungre besena ne panda bo yungi yo mare tene ti ngarang nomto gen chingwan da bo da chogyam ge hembanda bo je changna de la tab yendo ji ge go ne trolni ta ti hemba de pang ya ge tab go ge yo besena mare Hemba Korang Ngo de Ranking Maduba Imbala, Ranking Maduba Imbala Hina, Hemi Rondrum Rogiorella, the Jay. Tanda Tombo Tarimbo Nitsorgu Mebata Jay. Nibati Tatila Chogyam Trungpa Supik in Chiwa Yungiorel. Digging winning Chingribis in Chingamare, then Ching Changuna, the trolls in the vote in Chiwa, the troll worship it up, Mamboji Tsolguribis in a mare. Rang Ngo de la Tiena, Ranging in Chiwa Little Yorella. Tinin no one number not so but somebody, no one number not so but Hargi Yorella, no one number not so but the Harwati Narang Semi Geneluta, Shozu Gemenoga Topatel, Negre, Ticondo Greves in a Mare, Khan Harwati, no one number not so but Khan Harwati, Thor Rimbo, Truck Wonderwoji, Hargi or Mare. Nyingma Machupa Korang Noa de Taperna Mulamja Noa Tabaje, Shardeg, Concher Nyingma de Tiniti Chuni Loni, Korang Shardeg Yorella, Chuni Genelu de Chetawa in the Tobaton, Seni Genelu de Chetawa in the Tona, Tiniti Noa Tige, Parchin Rabota, Jing in the Vokaya, Chegi or Mare, Tini Chegi or Mare, so.
Then it reads, not deceived by attachment. I am not attached and naturally free. So when we have attachment and clinging that springs up, or when we have many different thoughts that happen, does this harm us? It doesn't harm us, because the binds of the thoughts, the binds of the fixated clinging and attachment, if we are bound by those, do we actually need to look for many other ways to try to cut these bonds and get rid of them? We don't. If we look at the nature of the clinging fixation itself, we see that fixation is not established as anything. It doesn't exist. And once we know that, then they're just naturally liberated for that. And so that's another reason. So first we had the reason that it's the searcher itself, and there's no need to look from afar. And the second is that the bonds of attachment can't really bind us, because we don't really need to look. I mean, it's like we don't need to think to ourselves, oh, I need to find this method or that method, I need to do this practice or that in order to cut these bonds. We just need to look at the essence of them, and then they're just naturally liberated. So that's another method. And then a third method is that appearances do not cease. Whatever occurs is natural. There are many appearances that occur. And so when these appearances occur, do they prevent us from realizing the nature of the mind and realizing the essence of Mahamudra and Dzogchen? They don't. Whatever appearances appear, it's not like there's something that's out there far away or something that is really hard and solid. They're just naturally, by their nature, by the way they're part of the expression of the Dharma expanse. They're like dreams. And so whatever occurs is just an appearance that comes out of the expanse of all phenomena. And so, for that reason, they do not prevent us from realizing, whether we call it the nature of all phenomena or whether we call it the nature of the mind. They don't present any difficulties for that.
Tene ta te yendo tashi tadarji yono jango se tene ta ti senji nelu de yepa denzin ta jepa top tala yo long yo mare Jing maybe Tomba Chungchi, that in the chip and tala your mare. Tinitaji Nijan Tata, Talwe, Nelu J, Tati, Sam Rang, Netangaten, Yorel, Tisar to Zogu your mare. Yepa Maris in the cock your mare. Mepa Maris in the drup your mare. Korang ngo the Korang Nelu de la Tana, Nelu de Nyamsu Nyona, Tela Machu by Yona Digi Yorella. Teacher na Tashin Tatraji, Yolong Jongo, Sunti Telata, Toparong Ngola Somni, Tinite Hachang Kangal Chimbo Maimba, Tichetawa into Topa, Tela Lo Devo Yepa, Tini Tateta the Churte, they know inside.
Similarly, it says, I nurture what wells up free of eternalist and nihilist extremes. And so is, the nature of the mind something that exists, that it's truly there, that we need to stop? It's not that. Is it something that is just blank nothingness? Excuse me, I want to start that again. Is the nature of the mind, something that's eternally there, something truly existent? It's not that. Is it nothing at all? Is it nihilism, just blank nothingness? It's not that either. And so it's the nature that is free of the two extremes of eternalism and nihilism. And so it's just the way the mind is itself. We don't have to do anything to the mind. It's not like we need to make something new out of the mind. It's not like there's something that's there that then we have to make into nothing. It's not like there's nothingness that we then need to make into something. It's just sort of the expression of the experience of the nature of the mind, or the way the mind is and how what it is like. And so I nurture what wells up, free of eternalist and nihilist extremes. And so the essence of realization itself is not something that's difficult. It's not something that's far away. It's something that we can realize just as it is. And so this is teaching us how we develop real mental ease because of that.
Tene ta te jeso tinjin zaji lama la somte lo dewa ta te damo nangkin cheparchin la somne lo dewa gambare la tene te ya yihi mantong yo main som sheki ripa tinjin te yering torwa se yihi senkin che pe salbo ta tende je cholna tin thong yo mare de ta ti ge main som sheki tene ngaranso yihi te to gu do ta ngo ton barong yin salwe ge nelu te to gu do somne ripa tinchin te yering torwa tene ngarang la ye ripa ta ti chitang ripa sinkite la chitang chai kuman da boche re la chai kuman da bo ge ripa se du ta che 장보 ndabo 중보 ndabo herap ndabo la yo koge yo are te yena ya tanda rikpa sidu ta zopa chimbo tumo mayin be chuki ga onda sena rikpa sidu senje nelu machu pa tela senje nelu machu pa sidu tela khandi re sena tene zokyu maje ba turbe ga onda matangwa tene korang ngo khandi yembati hipa tela rikpa sungi yo are 다티 마히네티 시노토 만다와 드브소나 텔라 센지 차 숭기요레 다티 기처나 릭바 디게 ngooti 짱톱나 티는 코르베 둥갈레 트로와타 랑긴지 된 렌지트바 융기요레 레라 릭바데 가바요레 세나 릭바데 나랑레 요레 레테 이나야 옌 림보 토르소레 다 옌 림보 코르와 토마 메바네 달라 톱가 바들 나랑게 리바티 쳤다와 연도 뭐 많지니 나랑 예바티 나랑게 마히네 토르송아레 이나야 테네 단다 칼바상 보초네 달미 린지도 유버농고 오 티토림볼라 만두와 리바티 나랑 쫑킹게 리바티 토림볼라 만두와 나랑다 냠도 두가 나랑다 냠도 예바티 당보니 나랑도 냠도 예바티 리도가 somne 유버농게 다티 땡하 마히바레 테네 단다 히바레 테 수카린라 테네 중아레세나 주섬 라마데 카딘 치오 somne 다티 랑라 모히주 예바타 테 랑 토바티 쳬 토바 쳬버진데 줄라 쳬주 예바티 당보 강라티니 중아레시나 랑 자벨라마라티니 중아레라 자벨라마티 짱바리비시나 자벨라마티 짱바마레 자벨라마텔라야 콩게 라마티게 tini rikpati ngote ni nawala tini tini ngaranso ke tambichu daunga di tuju ke kalpa sangpa chunga re konga lama tini konga nyamlin na me na ngaranso la di kalpa di yungi yo ma re ti ina yung konga lama tini teacher na konga topa chebar chi cheba ti konga zawa lama la tini chungi yo di lama ti kanga tini yungi yo re sin tini rimba yindala gipe lama jipe lama tenzo ya ta tsawa te ta ranzo hibda ta na daja ka tenpa zopu sonji jamden deji tambi chuchun kolo ma korna tini ti tsawa lama to jipe lama tenzo kanga peto ki yo ma re la tini teacher na ta rang tsawa lama ni zong te tini sonji jamden de la tuk par do sembe tene tatanda jalwa gombe jipa rinzin dai jipa kongsa nyen kongsa jipa di jipa songa lama ti chasa pe ta ngarang kardin chenpo re la tene tepe masi pe kardin chewa hito panda po yungu yo re
Next is the third section of here, the mental ease of contemplating the kind root and lineage lamas. And so this is thinking about the contemplating the people who give us these instructions. And it reads here, I do not see wisdom, and a mere name has denied me that kind awareness for a long time. So we might think that, wisdom, that's something that's really clear and wonderful. We look for it, but when we look for it, we can't see it. But we have this idea of, the names, like, I need to realize wisdom. I need to realize the nature that is free of all. I need to realize the empty nature that is naturally clear. And so we have this name that we've put on it. And but because of that, we've lost the kind awareness for a long time. So when you talk about awareness is it's just an ordinary word, actually. When we think about the way it ordinarily means, the Tibetan word is rikpa, and what the word rikpa ordinarily means, it's sort of like smarts. It's like someone who's intelligent, someone who can do things. And so, if you talk about something, he's got a lot of rikpa, you say, that's like saying in English, boy, they're really smart. And so that's the ordinary meaning of the Tibetan word rikpa. But here it's being used in the particular manner of a particular Dzogchen term. And what it means is, what the word awareness or rikpa means, is the unaltered nature of mind itself. It's something that we haven't changed or done anything to. It's the nature of the mind that we haven't changed in any way, altered in any way. It's without confusion. It's just the essence as it is, and knowing that essence as it is. But then when we don't know that essence, and there are a lot of thoughts, then that is what we call, in Dzogchen terminology, that's what we call the aspect of mind. And so here, we need to, if we are able to maintain that awareness, then we are able to free ourselves naturally from the suffering of samsara. We're able to naturally achieve the spontaneous presence. And that awareness is something that is present within it, but we've lost it. We cannot find it, and so because of that, we are in samsara, and we don't recognize it. We don't see it. So we just aren't knowing what really is present within ourselves, and that is what it means when it says it's denied it. We've lost it. And so now we have the great fortune. We've realized that it's not something that is far away, and it's something that the people who've taken, that is presently, it appears innately and inseparably present. It is something that is always together with us. It's innate within us. It's together with us always, and it's inseparable from this. But before we didn't know that. Now we do know that. Now that we know that, whose kindness is that because? Well, it's because of the blessings of the lamas, of the three lineages, that we've been able to really recognize this. And so This is because of the root Lama, because the root Lama has given us the instruction and pointed us out. But is it just the root Lama? Well, it's not. Also, the root Lama's Lama, their Lama also, pointed out the awareness to them. They gave them instructions on the Dharma. And so, if our own root Lama did not have a Lama of their own, then there would be no opportunity for us either to attain to know this. And so it's the root Lama's Lama, and then their Lama, and so forth, and gradually all the way back in a lineage of the root Lama, one person's root Lama, the next person's root Lama, all the way back. And if we look at it in great detail, it goes all the way back to the Buddha Shakyamuni. If the Buddha Shakyamuni had not turned the wheel of Dharma, there would have been no way for all of the root and lineage lamas to teach and to present us the instructions. And so it's the kindness of all the lamas, from our root lama all the way back to our teacher, the Buddha, the Bhagavan Buddha. And so these are the lamas of the three lineages: the lama of the intent of the victors, the lama of the symbolic lama of the Vidyadharas, and the whispered lineage of individuals. It's the kindness of all of these lamas. And so when we think about this, we can really know and understand their kindness.
Tene ta tela semni chukur ndondal meba ta ti semte chuchuko ndondal meba imbe cherna tene ta ti jisum lamati cutting chimboti ke tlinda boti cutting zothapsu nelu chongo tene ngarange tanda senje nelu ti chitawa yinto changni yangni yangdo nyamni yang takpa ji chegi yin sungate tene ta cutting chin tsavel lama to jipel lama tom chi la somni ta lo debo pe pento chimbo kalba sangbo chung lo junrabo che sungani.
So the mind essence, the Dharmakaya, does not come and go. And so the essence of the mind, the Dharmakaya, the nature of the mind itself, is not something that we're ever separated from. It never comes, it never goes, it's always there. And so realizing it, recognizing that kindness, we want to repay that kindness. To repay their kindness, I nurture the basic nature. And so we nurture this nature of the mind, and saying, I want to practice the Dharma properly. And so here it's because of the kindness of the root and lineage lamas that we're developing this mental ease and this joy, and how we think about how beneficial and how fortunate we are.
Tene ta te jeso yiba magin ru pendela somte lo dewa tar ngaran tarba tong tamchi jembe kompon to bati kalba zombo chungare rete yinaya tene senkin la pen ma to na tene ngaran jibuge detsam pento ya hiro yo marela ta tel kare goge yo are sena senkin la pento nyong gubaje senkin la pento njuma ten pento jachimbo njong gubaje rela ta ti pento njong nubanda bote tobge yo are ta ti topa top pen to tubgedu ta chitang ngarang pen to tubge yo sone ya pen to matupa yung secret ina ya tanda teni nelu mote dabota chu la jurwa tela teni pen to tupa pen topa teni tela teni tanda je tesam sam gu bandabota tende chungare tani londe je rangjung yihe ta tani lolende pe rangjung yihe ta te nelu de kandi jire sena teka la ngaranso nelu de hi guna yepare sene hi na yung digi yo mar ngaranso chunong tong te tingi yo mare la teacher na ta tanda nasom jemi hira paro chense ngod ni hi guna yung hi kale kapo chetawa yindu hi matoba tini sem ge kutu ge som guna yung te chetawa yindu som matoba ta tinde je yin bicherna tani ge lo lindeba ta koran teka machu ba nyambar ga pala teni nelu chetawa yindu to ba je re mato tani ge lo lindebe rangjung ge yi singete ta ngarang ge jilla ye demani yeba rongyar tsolmi jeng khala chowe 대신 kunzung gonlong yombar magin roa ke dela tendo tati Rangher Zolmi Namkalan Choe, Tati Chitangas Kangala Yore, La Deshin Kunzung, Dewa Chimpo, Kunduzumbu, Gombe Long Yombara, Magin Roak and Delotin Rotini, Sentin Yenda Latina, T. Sentin Yenda Latina, Tin Tugio. Te sentin yenda gom na gom tugiyor hi na hi tugiyor narang la dewar hi bi nimbo sanje ge nimbo ta ronjung ge ribi hi di yore la yin thongji la te tar do yore khonju ge ta ju ma ju tinjin ma chang wa ta la tin ni ngo ma je ba re ma tu tinjin chang na de che ta wa yin do to ko kam da wo yore la teacher na magin ro ke delo thai to ta Kali Kira Meva, Chipo Sin, Tarbaton Tamjin Chamber Compona, take to the Kokanda Yaba Latini, Bemesi Calvazam Johnson, to Lord de Wanda was
The mental ease of contemplating our mothers, sentient beings. And so, when I think, okay, I can achieve the state of liberation and omniscience for myself, I have this great fortune, but, if we just sort of don't worry about other sentient beings. This is enough for me. That doesn't really help much. And so what do we need to do? Well, we need to help sentient beings. And so we need to help them in a vast way. And is that power something we have? We do have that power. It's like now that we have seen this, there's no doubt that we have the power. We can help them. If we think to ourselves, I actually can do this, then it's not possible that we won't be able to help them. So because we have realized the nature of how things are, because we have had this transformation of the Dharma, we are able to really help other sentient beings. There is no doubt about that at all. And so it reads here, the self-arising wisdom that transcends conventional mind. And so what is the way things are? That's what we need to realize. And it's not something, when we look at it, it's not something that we can say is actually something. It's not something that fits with our confused appearances in any way. It's like when we're talking in the text on the Prajnaparamita, it talks about how it is inexpressible, inconceivable, and undescribable. It's not something that we can talk about with our speech. It's not something that we can conceive at all with our conceptual thoughts. It's something that transcends the worldly conventional mind. And so it's the realization of the actual nature of how things are. And it's the self-arising wisdom. The self-arising wisdom, that means the wisdom that's always been with us from the very beginning. So that wisdom is always present. And so this self-arising wisdom soars in the sky of effortless self-appearance. I easily lead sentient beings who have all been my mother into the vast expanse of great bliss, the intent of Samantabhadra. And so the soaring in the sky of effortless self-appearance, this is something that we all have. It's potential that we all have. And I easily lead sentient beings who have all been my mother into the vast expanse of great bliss, the intent of Samantabhadra. And so in the vast expanse of the realization of Samantabhadra, and then we can easily teach other sentient beings. We have the ability to teach other sentient beings. And when we teach other sentient beings, they can meditate too. They can come to know this themselves. Just as we ourselves have Buddha nature, the potential of all of the Buddhas, just as we have the self-arisen being, so too do all sentient beings have these. It's just that they up to now have not looked. They have not had the right circumstances to look for them. But if they do have the right circumstances, they will have the opportunity. And so all of these sentient beings, all of these who have been our mother, we can lead them easily to this vast expanse of great bliss. And so it's very easily, without any difficulties, very nicely, and having a good time, we can lead them there. We can lead all of these sentient beings. And so we have this great fortune, and because of that, there is great happiness that arises.
Tene ta teacher na ta tanda perna tanda Mipham Rinpoche taburje inaya kongla ta tige yendo senjing dan drup tupata senjing dan drupala tup toanda bo yabata tindi songare la ta te khungri jangba mahimba ta ngarancho loma chola ya te tardo labja nang du de la tini rangdan yo duggu gi yore la te da nyamdo tini yendan yo duggu gi yore tini yin senjing la pemba te yo duggu gi yore la tini yin senjing la pemba du de la ta chitanga mege kulhong la ndramanda yoba la tene kahi ge sona jitin che komde chasang la pen to somkin ta tende pen to tupu ko kam da wo kandi chona somkin yore la yang kahi ge rang nyin da nyewa la so ba la kandi jin ropa jin yagre samba da wo podon pumo la so ba la kandi jin ropa jin yagre samba da wo ta tende yore la ni te yang uni ta tige ropa chena ta chitang jitin ke shawala tene ropa chena ya chitang neka pento ge yore de yin yang uni chena rangin sule yin ya ta tartu tenji dewa de ta tambi chu la tene ro yin du de la tene che de chu ten chu ge netsul da bu song chu ge tenlen da bu chong tende chena pe pento chembore ta de la ya tambi chu Belking on the Siena, Sanji jumped in the Sanji jumped in the Tanta Tanda, Tuto don Kepachimbo Namchi Sona, Kukarchon Luke de Don Rajun Nick de number Nisonarella, Tiniti, Yinchi Minchi Razun Nick de Yengupi Chava Yomare, Kukarchon Luke de Chu, Song Togior, Kukarchon Luke de Siena, Chitanga Kapkala, Atine Hakli Chalung, the Vota Mandra was thinking, Double Koge. Kogi yore de ti inchi minchi guba yo mare ta chimna nepa tene ta tanda ranging ta jiba inna yung rong pe mi inna yung rong tene ta chunglo si du dramatic pa se gi yore la dramatic pa se du ta chitang maso inna yo dramatic pa chunglo ta yo pa da bo che ta tinde indu so inna ya 다 조 책이 차루 조 제와 마임바 난그 샘조 제와 임베 저나 드는 알아서 강가 주고래요 주드 드니 데라 주드 버가스라 예나야 주 강가 티바 중국어 온드시네 검나용다 티바 침부거 온드시네 검나용다 송호도지 티바 초주가 맹월라테네 검나용다 다티 검자 냠니 나가 바임베 저나 드니 디게 랑 냠뇽동 또바다 tene mupa tenzo suli ina yang gojan rabo nangna pe pento chenpo tang tene ta tela tene pentopa te yung nekab ka pentopa ma yinpa tartu tenji dewa tope ki joro ngune koran su tarba tong tamchin chenpe kompong top na yang anga tangpo rela ngune tarba tong tamchin chenpe kompong matop na yang tarbe saban zomji yo na yang te pe mesipe kalpa sangpo tang pento chenpo yinpe cherna kasi ngarangi hyubare talmo yaji jarna tini tela tesamta jepe gone talmo yaji jarna yang tini tepe saban sangpo te rangi senji tento yonrogi yorela tini ti saban te mahompala rimji perne tartuk tenji dewa tope ki jorun rowa 다 딘데 갈바সম고 타르베 사벤시 다 데이터브 임바 타르베 사벤 점마 임바 카히기 냠닝 데지나 냠니 자침보 나tum 괜찮아요 베메시 베 갈바সম고레라 딘데 딘데 담비추 벨리아타 딘데 담비추 딘니 종야 딘도 베 갈침보 레sam바도 딜 합잔다 못 감들 나와인사레
So for people like Mipham Rinpoche, for example, he is someone who really brought great benefit to many other sentient beings. And because of that, he was able to help other sentient beings. He was delighted about that. But it's not just Mipham Rinpoche. It's also all of us students. we need to attain the perfect benefit for ourselves, but we also need to, at the same time, together with that, we also need to bring benefit to others. We need to actually accomplish helping other sentient beings. And so, of course, there are a lot of people who, have different motivations. And maybe some people think, I want to help the entire world. I want to help everyone. And do we have that opportunity? We do. But we also might be someone who thinks, well, maybe I can't do that. I don't have that chance. But, I want to be able to help my friends and relatives. How can I help them? Or we might think about, I want to be able to help my children. And so we actually can do things to help other people. And if we do things that help other people, if we do things that help people in a worldly way, then that is helpful, but it's a temporary sort of help. But if we actually want to really help them, what we or anyone else really need is we need to really have the lasting happiness that is the liberation and omniscience. And so that comes from the Dharma, from teaching the Dharma, from maintaining the activity of the Dharma, from spreading the activity of the Dharma. And so whoever we are, this is something that we can do. This is something that many of the great practitioners of the past, the Buddha and many great masters, they often talk about there being the community of the white-robed lay people and the community of the saffron-robed monastics. And so it's not necessary that you be a saffron-robed monastic in order to help people. You can be a white-robed householder. But when you think about a white-robed householder, we start thinking about people who dress up like nakpas and have a knot of hair on the top of their head and look kind of strange and different. But that isn't necessarily what it means. It might be someone, who just, you live in your home and you do that. You can be male or you can be female, and you don't have to cut your hair or do anything like that. It's like you can just do it as you are. You can, Dharma isn't something, the main thing in Dharma isn't the outer appearance. The main thing in Dharma is the internal mind. And so just to enter the gate of the Dharma and to be able to practice the Dharma, that is really extremely fortunate. And then when we teach the Dharma to others, whether we teach the instructions of the Theravada path, or whether we teach the instructions of the Mahayana path, or whether we teach teach in terms of the instructions of the secret mantra Vajrayana and Dzogchen and Mahamudra, if we help people meditate, and then we also meditate ourselves, we develop experience, we develop some realization. And when we have that experience and realization, if we share that experience and realization with other sentient beings, then that is really wonderful. The benefit that we give other sentient beings when we do this is it's not a temporary benefit. This is the benefit that brings to the stable, the lasting happiness of liberation and omniscience. We actually can help other people do that. And if we help other people and they do attain that, then that is absolutely wonderful. But even if they do not, then at least we're putting a seed within them. We're planting a seed, and that is extremely fortunate and extremely beneficial. Yesterday I was talking about how if you just raise one hand and you have a little bit of doubt in your mind, but you raise your one hand in respect to the Buddha, how that's like putting a seed within our minds. And that seed is something that gradually increases, it grows and strengthens, and it eventually comes to the lasting happiness of liberation and omniscience. And so it's putting the seed of liberation. And so just that is wonderful. If they do a little bit of practice, that's great. If they do great amounts of practice, that is really fortunate. It helps really increase the Dharma. It helps maintain and spread the activity of the Dharma. And so that is the sort of advice that I think is given here in this section.
Tene ta tegendo ta tambichuge shawa shetan rabotela chitang tanda loben papa ludugzibe tamsu se do ta che chitang ranking labjatinde nang yorela tamsu nang kari yore sena hi pitin se tene khori topola tangwa khori Tropo de la Tangwa, Tropo de Soresina, Tropo Jalbo Deji Zombosanke de la Lavjati Tangwa de la Tinite Lavjati Tangwa in Becherna, Chitang Ta Tenchu Mambo, Ta Ndruaga Korntaboji, Ravjung de la Lavjare. Yena Hipitin de Ravjung de la Lavjanawa Maimba, Chimbala Lavjanawa, Tinichudan Temple Lavjanawa. Te chimbi ke lonely tartu ge yaba chimba la ya je tumi rabo tende maimba tuji jabu chimbo je la tene tanda labja nang de tela te jalbo chimbo tela labja nang de jalbo chimbo te korang somtanda korang leka ta mangalwa tombe chu la jurtu ge yaba ge ta labja rabo yimbe cherna tene hipitin te tangaranso Chetnamba Chuyamni Nankin Soga, Kapkala Lavjona, Pe Pento Chimbo Yosare, Sambatabo, Tende Tenson La, Tene Tatea, Tandangaranso, Tate Loban Papa Luduge, Palanjur don't tempa, Lonche don't tempa, Tene Zigit don't tempa, Tende Jabo Deji Zombola, Damate, now in detail. Tangaranso Chitanga Nuchu Chuji Mambo, Tini Banjur don't temper, Lonche don't temper, Zigi don't temper, Samba Jachimbo don't temper, that in detail. Tell Muni Tani Tumbo Rabo, Tinite Chitanga Ravjung dead on Tanda Chimbig de Niganani, so Chimbig de la Chitung Hapa in Big Lavja. Tinani, Tini Banjur Lonche, Jeba Zigi don't temper. Kitung up again, Lavja in Picherna, Tindig Shoppy Zip Kabla, Takorang, Tindi Labdos in Yamasa Mainpang, Aransu, Loni Tardu, Chuda Mangal, Loni Tardu, Kandichi Gundo, Tinitela, Yam Chuda, Tumbati, Tini Randan Yapo Yungate, Randan Yungate, Chudan Tumbe, Jitin Sawatam, Mangalwa, Chudan Tumbe Sawa, Kandi Yungundo. Tene taken the yen and pemper to no pemper candies to do good. That thing so the heating and salvo you are heating is like a paint or gray or somebody.
Similarly, and when we think about how it is that we can do Dharma things, there are a lot of texts written by the master named Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna wrote what's called the collection of sayings or the collection of talks, and in this he gives a lot of advice about how to do things. And one of the pieces collected in this is what is called the Letter to a Friend. And so this is a letter that Nagarjuna wrote to his friend, and the friend was the king named Decha Sampo. And so he sent this letter to the king Decha Sampo. Now, there are many different treatises that are meant for the monastics. Like there is the Vinaya, which is advice for monastics on how to behave. But the letter to the friend is not primarily for monastics. It's primarily for householders, how to be a householder and to live in a way that really is compatible with Dharma. And so when we think about the householders, of course, there are also many different types of householders, and so this is not really directed at someone who has a very simple existence. This is someone who had a very complicated life. He was the king of a great country, and so he gave advice that really goes. Nagarjuna gave advice that really goes well with how the king thinks, how he did. He talked about how working for the Dharma, working towards the Dharma, and the ordinary activities of the world are not contradictory. They're not exclusive of each other. How you can practice the Dharma while do these. And so if you read these instructions, this advice that is contained within Nagarjuna's letter to a friend, then this is something that will be very helpful. So When Nagarjuna gave his advice, he gave it to the advice to his friend King Dechasampa. And King Dechasampa was very wealthy, prosperous, powerful, very glorious, and he had a very vast way of thinking. And so he taught how is it that he can do worldly activities that are in accord with the Dharma. Similarly, here in America, there are a lot of people who are very prosperous, very wealthy. They have a lot of influence, and they also have a really grand vision or a large vision of what they want to do. So these are instructions that are meant primarily for between the two groups of monastics and householders, lay people. This is primarily meant for the lay people, and primarily for those lay people. It's primarily for those lay people who have resources and who have ability. And so, if you read it, it will be very helpful. But when you read this, it's not something where you should just think to yourself, "Oh yeah, he said that. That's kind of nice." It's not that. It's actually, you have to think about it. Well, how can I actually put this into practice in this human life? You know, what can I do that really fits with the Dharma? I need to do something that brings good benefit to myself. And I need to do something that also, you know, fits with the worldly activities that I do. And I want to be able to do things that help other sentient beings. And so, for this reason, if you read this text, the letter to a friend, it will be very helpful, I think.
Tene ta te jeso tanju doarela ta telpe to namjun rabuche itembare emma hongon sararikpa ahoya jipirangsa ta pe to bojuma anzi de hela jorse anzi ta sena Mipham sungi orela konketo ta gawa to ache boje njung ge tsena alala sangsik neso se sangsik sinkinte la chitang ge sangwa sinkinte beki ge tsek on de sena ni koya yorela te se du sangwa se du yinje ko meni ba ta te sangwa tinde la sangwa se ge yorela te rebisina te mare ta tanda sangsik sinkinte kande resin nengo chembo nengo tik ten koran ta ne pa te la sangwa sang nengo sangsik sang nengo yapo to bige teni tsek de neba yen suarela ta dige teni tanda de konto to namjur de teni ngaranso nyamlin che na ya sembala gawa to ayung ge tsulte ten na ware hipa ripa ngohi chilo dani je romo he jawanda yo chabda jambe yo kunchin doji ji ji chongchi tangur ji tsiri ton cheni tsumbe nime tangur ji ti hibe Kang Joran Jedi, Tipanchola, Lopper Muba, Moham Ludu Timi, Jesa, Jonsar Tahila, Zero Mongalam.
Then there is the the conclusion, which is Emaho, amazing awareness. Ahoyai, when that natural energy of delight, the excitement and delight. And so transformed Ajita's heart. Ajita is another name for Mipham Rinpoche. And so when this natural energy of delight transformed Ajita's heart, Allah, I've uttered secret words. And so secret words here. Secret here, usually when we think about the word secret, when we talk about the Tibetan word sang, which means secret is like something you got to find out. It's something that you've got to hide and keep others from finding. And so you might think, is that what we mean by secret here? It's not. Actually, what we mean by secret is that this is a real crucial point. It's a crucial point. So there's this real crucial point that if we know it, it is good. So we are able, it's this point that we can know and that we can realize, and that if we do this, we will also have a similar experience of such great and joy. And so this is talking about how we can also be really delighted and joyful about our practice. Then it reads, when Chamta Jampayan Kunchen Dorje Siji said, write a song of the Nyingma Vu that is comparable to Chankya's song of the view. I, Mipham Lodrime, feeling special devotion for the supreme vehicle. Oh, there's a typo there. Offered the scriptures to the crown of my head and composed this song called the Song of Recognizing Awareness, the music of the lute, at Dzongchen Tashi Latsi Mangalam. That's about it.
Tene tati tari tanda tatangurti Juju Kokap Sumate, Naraya Pe, Kalvazambo Johnson, Tinichi Nambala, Painto Gray, Sambrayola, Tita Yami Aponaruchi.
So I feel like having this chance to teach give these Dharma teachings to you is a really wonderful opportunity for me, and I feel like it's something that I hope it's something that really helps you. So please practice in that way.
Yeah.